Hi, this is Lena making Bespoke Craft Designs. I'm going to call this series Mixed Media Madness. I'm no mixed media artist, but I absolutely love playing with paints and all different mediums. I love mixed media, and I want to include some mixed media into my journals. So recently I have bought some Brushos. I normally use that's no name, Magicals, but I brought some Brushos to try them, and I wanted to try something different. Also, I like the shaker. I know the new Magicals have the shaker, and that will be my next purchase because I love those too. So I wanted to do these in two different ways. The first one I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this out the way. Let me move that out of the way and get a bit more organised. Put that way, I think. Yeah. And I even use, on this one, I've left that piece on because I like that. And there are two that I didn't leave on. For some reason, I think they just came off. Now, this is canvas. And it isn't a canvas board, it's canvas paper. And I actually bought it in error. But since then I've played with it and I've been back and bought loads more of these, and it's from The Works. Now at the moment in the UK The Works isn't open, and I'm literally down to my last book of these. I use them for eco dyeing, I use them for everything. I've done soft journal covers with them, I've sewn fabrics onto them. They're just so versatile, and I'm doing this for my journal that's I'm going to be doing. I wanted to do some covers, but I thought while I'm doing the covers I will also do a few more because I like to have them to use for pockets and things as well. So this one, oh, that's what I didn't do. I didn't fill my water up. I've got my water with me, but I'm not going to, you just have to excuse me if it takes a bit of getting out. I'm going to wet this paper, not so it's pooling all over it, but so it's quite wet because it's porous. Look, it's already got a bit of something on for me just hanging this over the top. It's already got a bit of that on. I'm not sure. I've got some colours out and I'm not sure what colours to go with. I've got some dilution sprays as well that I might sort of spray. I've got a white, a blue and a yellow spray if I need them or if I want them. But I'm going to start with some of the Brushos. Now these are the tiny little pots, but you do get a lot in them. I'm going to start with what's this one called? This is just turquoise. Now because I've got some water on there, this should start to react where the water is. So before I dry this, I'm going to put a couple of blues on. You obviously have to be wary of what colours you mix, actually, because these have various colours in them. And depending on how much you spray them, you can already see how that's starting to react. So I'm going to use some of this one. This is ultramarine, so it's a dark blue, this one. And there isn't obviously as much water there because that is not reacting yet. But it will do in a minute if it picks up any of the water. Where it's gone into the water, it's started to pick up. And then where there is a little bit of water, I just like to move it about a bit. And you get such fantastic results with these. I love them, absolutely love them. And there's quite a lot of powder there that hasn't, so I'm just going to spray. I don't want to spray too much now because I don't want it to pool everywhere, but I want it to pick up on that colour. That's it. Now, because this is canvas, it does soak up quite a lot of that water quite quick. As soon as you put the heat gun on it, it starts to. But what I'm doing is I'm just covering as much of the canvas as I can. And then I've got these little bits here that I'm going to use as mop-ups for a start. I've got some mop-up papers nearby as well if I need them, because I've got plastic on here today. But if any goes on here, I can still use it to mop up. If any goes on the underneath, I don't mind, because I can use that too. And then I'm just going to mop up some of these colours with some of this. I love using these edges, I really do. And the edge that's already on it, I want colour on it as well. So I've got a bit of colour on the edge. Just see if I can drag a bit more up there, but I just want this to be covered while I'm at it. Do you know, I don't think, as a child, I hated my hands getting dirty and whatever, but as an adult, if I haven't got paint or something on my hands, I'm not happy. I just love it. I just love doing this. Right, because so that's just one of the greens, and I've just sprayed some water on that again. I've got a biggish piece there that I'm just going to try and get rid of some of this. Now this canvas now is very, very wet, very wet. Right, I'm just going to, oh, let me just get some of that on those ones as well. That's it. And then pick up some more of this colour, and before I put any more colour on, because I don't want them to go muddy. They shouldn't, because the colours that I'm using should be fine, but as I say, they do have bits of different colours in them, and I don't want to. So I'm going to just dry this a little bit. It won't dry fully. Oh, don't tell me it's not. What's happened here? Please tell me this isn't. Oh my. Do you know, I've been using my heat tool so much lately, I think I've burnt it out, you know. And go in and do this other one. So I wanted to do this one slightly different. Instead of putting the colour on first, it's just picking up some of the colours that's on the board there. And this mat has a bobbly side to it and a flat side, but it still gives a lot of pattern, which I really love on these as well, which all adds to the mixed media. And I turn this mat over depending on what I'm doing. So what I wanted to do for a start, that's thrown me a little bit because I didn't intend to do it like this, but anyway, I can't do it any other way. I can't dry it, so I'm going to do what I can, and then I shall have to. So I'm just going to put a bit of gesso on this one. Sorry, the noise is a bit ugh. So I'm not putting gesso all over, putting a bit of gesso in places. I don't want it too thick, but then I don't want it completely flat because I want to give it some texture. So right. Well, that has just thrown me a little bit. That has. Kitchens, it's for lining drawers and things with, and it's a real thick plastic and it's bobbly on the other side. I've just cut a bit of this off, and what I literally want to do is just put a little bit of texture from this, so it's using things that you may have, or you can use a bit of it and then you can use the rest of it to line your drawers. See what it does. We'll see. So this hasn't picked up as much of the gesso because obviously this is still very wet, but it might. It's picked up a bit. And then this one here, I'm just going to now just stamp this again. So I'm using it a bit like a stamp. I've just put, and then I've got some colour that's come off the other one that I'm just going to put on here. And I'm so to dry. So I cannot believe that my gun is not working. It was working when I turned it off last night, so I'd have thought it would have just come back on, but it hasn't. So I'm going to have to, but I have had it years, to be fair, and it wasn't very expensive when I got it. It was only about £10. I must have had it 4 or 5 years, so it's done me proud, and I use it a lot. I've never tried this before, so I don't know what this is going to do. I'm going to try some white first. And this, oh, it's very temperamental, this one. Cleaned the lid, so sometimes it really works well, and then like now, I think it's just going to be one of those days today. So I'm going to resort to splashing it on. And then when the other colours pick this up, it'll dilute the colour a bit, is my hope. That is my hope. I was hoping to splash it on, spray it on. I think they're getting right to the bottom as well. I must get some. I didn't realise I was slow on this white, actually. I didn't realise I'd used as much as I had. Because when it's spraying, you don't always notice. It's only since I've been taking the lid off. So actually that is probably why I'm struggling with it, because there's very little left in the bottom. Oh, I think I'm going to go just down the blue line this time for a start, and then see what happens when it picks up some of that white. So this is the turquoise one. I'm going to put that out of the way now. And this is, it started to pick up a bit of colour there, look. And then I'm just going to, oh, and it's picking, oh, look at that, and it's picking up on that white. Oh, I like that. Now, because this gesso's still wet, I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. In fact, I don't know. But of course, it'll react differently with the gesso, whether the gesso gives any, you know, body to it because it's still wet. I don't know. But the white has definitely made a difference. Oh, wow. I've never actually done that before. I don't usually use wet gesso either, but my gun's gone, so I've no choice. So just have a play, Lena, and see what you come up with. Now, just on that subject, the whole point is this is good for your well-being, and especially in the times that we find ourselves in. Any kind of, you know, passion that you have, any craft that you enjoy, you know, it's good. It's good to do it because it helps with keeping your mind occupied and your well-being, and, you know, really doing crafting has kept me sane. It really has. And that's not, you know, that's not jesting, that is real. It really has. So it's already started to react. There isn't a lot of water there, so I'm going to spray these little bits. Oh gosh, I like this. I might have to put a bit more white on there because I do like the effects of the white. But it is picking up on some of the other white and possibly the gesso. As I say, I've not really done this before. Going to mingle it all a bit. Oh, I do like this background. It's very bluey. I want some on the edge. Let's get some on the edge. That's it. And then pick up some of that on the underneath. Wow, that has left some real lovely texture in the background. Very, very subtle texture because it was still wet. I mean, it would have been a lot better if it had been dried, but I do like it. It's lovely. So what I'm going to do now is, I feel I want a bit of something else, but I don't know what. That's just me because I go over the top. You could well and truly leave it there. I just, in true fashion, I just do go over the top of it. But I've just realised I've got some mopping up papers here. I wanted to just mop up some of this with the, oh, look at that. Look how much has come off that. Just on that graph paper. So, oh, I don't want to put that on there. I've got some papers at the back ready to do a bit more with the gesso. I don't want to lay it on there. The only trouble I've got in here, I don't have a lot of room. I really don't. So these are turning out really nice, and the back side of the graph paper, all from this. I maybe wouldn't have done as much as this if I'd have had the dryer. I'd have mopped up little bits, but I wouldn't have done as much. That'd be lovely. I just have to mind they don't stick together. My wet room's actually down at the bottom, and I just can't get my camera set up in there. So I do use it as my wet room when I'm off camera, but when I'm on camera, I have to do it at my desk. So I'll go lay them down there, and they'll dry because there's a bigger space. I lost it for a while because we thought we were going to have an extension built, and things didn't go according to plan, with the exception we got planning permission, we got everything sorted out, and then circumstances changed and we decided to go down a different route. So we didn't go ahead with it. We was going to have like a granny flat built on, so that my daughter could be near us to help us when we need caring for. Because our health haven't been brilliant, and we're getting older, and we said, well, we've got plenty of room in the garden, we'll have an extension. But then, you know, she's got to think of her life as well, and she's got to think of, you know, moving on with her partner, and she's planning to get married in a couple of years. And so what we decided to do is, when we're at the stage that we need more help, we're actually going to combine and buy a house together. But at the moment, while we can manage, we're going to manage here. But we're going to look for something together. But the trouble is, I need a lot of space for my craft. You know, I can't be compromising on craft space. That just would not work for me. And it might not be everybody's first thought, but it is mine. So we're just going to stay as we are at the moment while we can. Right, now I've got a little bit of blue going on here, and I'm not going to worry too much about it, even though the colours I'm bringing in. So I'm just going to move these out my way because I'm going to put some gesso down now. So I don't actually want any more colour. So I would have been doing more if my gun had worked, but my heat tool had worked, but it didn't. So these are some that I did last night and I dried successfully with. These are for my next journal cover. These dried successfully with my heat tool. Why? It's just stopped. Usually if it overheats a bit, it starts again, but for some reason it's been resting overnight. Now, there's a tiny, tiny, tiny hint of blue on here. Not much. It was just what was in the green. So if I get some blue on this, it'll be quite nice because there's a bit of blue in the journal. So I'm just going to mop. It's only picking very little bits, really, really subtle bits. I don't know which is the side that I actually sprayed because it's gone right through, and I really like both. Not really sure on that one. So if I do get, you see, there's just a little bit of blue on that one. If I do get some blue, it doesn't matter. I mean, I would urge you to clean your mat when you're doing something dry if you don't want the colour to pick up, because although it's only picked a bit of colour up, it would spoil it if it wasn't colour I wanted. But as I say, I had splashed some blue on here last night, so I was quite happy with that. Right, so what I wanted to do on these this was one way I was going to do it, was put some white gesso over the top with stencils, but I wanted to do some white gesso first, dry it, and then put the colour on. But unfortunately, as I say, I'll have to use that for a different. So I've got some nice stencils here. Now my stencils are very used, and as you can see, very dirty. They're not dirty that'll come off, they're just very stained. I did actually give them a really good wash, but... So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put these two together, and I'm going to put a bit of that on there and that on there, so we get it on both of them. I'm just trying to see. Oh, it's here. I have a great big tub of gesso, and then I have some of these little ones. These are from the range, and they're really reasonably priced. Oh, it says on it, look, not the range, I beg your pardon, the works. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to get some more of this. So this is £5 for this little tub. I mean, it's quite a good size. I don't know what size it says. And then what I do is 500ml. And then when this tub's empty, I just keep filling this up with my big tub that isn't in here. It's down in the wet room. So I'm getting to the bottom of this tub now. But I do use an awful lot of gesso. Now I put a lot on because these spaces are quite big, and they obviously take a long time to dry because they're quite big. So I'm pleased I've called this Mixed Media Madness, because I think it's going to be one of them things that it's not going to go swimmingly. But then that's good, because you see the other side of things you don't always see, because I'm, you know, as I say, I'm no expert. I just love to play, and I do get some nice results, you know. And I love it on the front covers. Just gives so much interest. So all I'm doing is making sure, because these are really big gaps here, and then I'm just going over the top of it again. Doesn't matter if you only go halfway through one of the circles, you don't have to go through them all. Just be careful you don't bend the little tiny bits at the ends back. This is quite a strong one, this one, but you do have to be careful. I've got my bowl of water ready to put these in when I finish with them, to clean. Oh, I do like that. That is really effective. Now I want to put that onto something else, so I'm not putting it straight in. I think I'm going to put a bit of text, and this is one of my go-tos. This is one of my favourites, this one with the little holes in, so I'm going to use a bit of this because I do love this. This just picks up the colour when you know, if I'm spraying another colour over the top, this just picks up colour really well. I love it. I've used right in the middle of that, and then I can't get into here because I don't want to squash the other. That's it. I like that. And then I'm just going to put a little bit down this side, not much. Let's get some more gesso on. So I'm just going to do that. Just looking at time. That would just be, that would just be the next thing, that my camera stops working. And that has been known many a time. So yeah, so I like that. And then this one here, I'm going to do a bigger bit of this on this one. I don't want them exactly the same, but I want them to have some of the same stencils on. So I like that. I want them to look slightly different, but sort of the same. And then I'm going to use this big text one. Now this big text one that I've got, it's actually a wall text. That's why it's so big. And the only thing with it, I don't think it's designed to use over and over again, and some of the little bits of the wording are starting to bend because, you know, obviously rubbing your palette knife up and down this, or your spatula, whatever you're using, if you're not careful, you do bend them. So you do have to be a bit careful. Now, as I say, I find it very difficult to leave space because I just love them so much and I go mad. But I do actually like that. But I will be putting other things on top, so some of this won't be seen, you know, it won't be as visual as that. So I quite like that. I think that's lovely. And then I'm going to do the same on this one. If I can get this in here without, because it's so big, I'm going to have to try and bend it in that space. I think this is how I do bend the letter in. You know, I thought for another time maybe would be to start in the middle and then work to the outside. Now, wouldn't that be a clever idea? But then that would be too easy, Lena, and you don't do things easy. So, but what a good idea that would be, to actually put your stencil in the middle bit first and then work to the outsides. Oh, look, I've got a great big blob in the middle of there. Right, let's see if I can get that off pretty easy without, oh, try and recover that a little bit. Oh, it's not too bad. I've got it off. It's smudged it a bit, but I don't mind that. So that's it for a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm shaking the camera. So that looks really lovely. Yeah, it does look nice even on the camera. I do like that. And the colours fade into the background a little bit more. I find this with gesso, doing this, it's another way of using gesso to dull your background down. I mean, you can just smudge gesso on everywhere, which I do. I do several ways of doing it, but I do like this idea. I do sometimes use the pastes that give a thicker dimension, but I think this is enough on the junk journals, because if you want to use it as a pocket inside your journals get chunky enough anyway. So as long as it's got some dimension and, you know, some different layers, I think the gesso works really well. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I've got to leave these to dry the slow way now, unfortunately. And then I'll get back to you shortly. Bye for now. Right, these are the two that I did last night that dried perfectly well. What I've done is I've measured the front of my cover and I folded the bit over that I want to cut off, but obviously I'll use this for something else. This bit I'm going to cut off. So I've just put the two together, and that's the size of my front and back part of the journal. And I've done that so I can sort of do a bit of sort of continuity with my stenciling. So I also want to be able to leave the spine pretty much without anything on, because it's hard to sew through it. So I'm going to leave that little bit. Now, I haven't decided whether to sew my signatures on before I put the front cover on. I've got the inside cover done. I will be doing most of this journal in one of my videos. And then putting this one over the top so you don't see the the stitching. I'm not sure which way I'm going to do it yet, because I wanted to do something over here. I'm not sure whether I'm going to stick it on afterwards, but I'm going to prepare it ready. I'm going to put the mixed media on, and then I'm going to sew some bits, because I am doing some sewing in this one. The ones I've just done, I didn't do any, well, I did hand sewing, but I didn't do any machine sewing. But I've managed to get my machine out. Now, this is a doily one. I'm going to use a little bit of that on here. So I'm using different stencils on this one. I've got loads of stencils that I need to clean. The others are in the water soaking, and then I shall go and give them a proper clean when I've completely finished. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's very pretty. And then this one, I'm going to do it like it's going off the bottom of the page here. Am I actually completely on camera? No, I'm probably completely off camera. Just bear with me 1 minute. Let me see what bits in the camera. Oh, you saw me doing most of that. Let me have a look. See if I can get these a bit more in camera so you can see a bit of both. Is that better? Still not brilliant, is it? Trouble is, when I move this, it'll bounce about. And I don't want it to. Oh, bit of me. You don't want to see me. Believe me, you don't need to see me. Right, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this slightly. We know, I've told you what that bit is. I'm just going to move that out of the way so that I can get them more in screen. Yeah, that's better. So I've got the doily going off on this one at the bottom of the page. And then I want to avoid the actual spine. Some of this down here that I really like. And I'm going to do a bit more just down there that I really like. And then this one, this is another different one. And I'm going to put this on this edge here. As I say, there'll be other things covering this up, so you won't see this just as it is. It will be partially covered, but you will see some of it. And, oh no, I don't want to go there. So let's have a look. Let's just put a little bit in there like that. I mean, it looks strange without any down that signature. I have got a little bit going down here, but it's not the thick. It's only very faint that it's not. It won't cause any problems. It's the thicker stuff that would. So I'm going to leave that there for now. Bring this other one in, and so this is the way it's going to be on the back of the cover. That will be cut off. I mean, if I get any on that, it doesn't matter because I'm cutting that off. So I don't need to worry about that. Because that bit was the bit that was folded over and I'm cutting it off. So that's fine. Because I just wanted a little bit of one of them. If it goes over, I just know it'll cover it then. So do that like that. Yeah. And then I can just cut a bit of it off. And I want some of this down here. So I'm getting to the end of my pot. You can see me, can't you? Let me just bring that up a little bit more so you can actually see me. So many things to remember. I just want to say thank you as well to those people that are supporting me. I mean, I've got less than 50 subscribers at the moment and not very many views, but I value each and every one of you. So the people that are watching me, I just want to say a massive big thank you. Every time I see another view, I get a real buzz. I am so appreciative. I just love what I do, and to see people watching it is just amazing. And you know, I just want to say thank you very much. That's why I want to do a giveaway, because I just want to show my appreciation. I just want, you know, I'm just so into. I got a lovely comment actually from somebody that said you could see how much I loved what I did, and it was such a beautiful. I'm not naming the person because she might not want me to, but it was such a lovely comment that I thought, well, yeah, I do love what I do, and I'm so pleased it's coming through on the videos, you know, because that is how I feel. I love everything I do. Right, I'm just going to clean these off a little bit. I say you have to be very careful with these lacy ones that you don't break the little tiny bits. And I'm just going to do them. Oh, that's my dog. He's just seen the postman. Just before I came back in here, I noticed the postman was there, and I thought he'd missed him. No. So he's telling him off. Gives him such a hard time. He really doesn't like him. I think he doesn't like him coming to the door, because he comes to the door but doesn't pay him any attention. Because he's lovely with people that come to see him. He loves visitors. He loves all the fuss. But if they're not here to see him, well, he's not so keen. Right, so I've just cleaned those. Oh, there's a bit more on there. I've just cleaned these stencils off best I can without breaking them. I'll just show you. I'm just going to put these in my water, ready to go and splash about and get them cleaned off. They're just some mop-up pages. Yeah, I've got things everywhere. I'm sending out a gift to somebody, somebody on my Instagram. So I've never done this snail mail before, and she asked me to do it with her before we realised that I'm in the UK and she's in America. So we've had to wait a while until we could send the post out. So I'm going to get that off. And that's to a lovely lady called Amanda that I'm going to send that one off to. I'm going to send her one of my journals. And I'm looking forward to... I've never received any gifts from anybody else except one of the little cards, and that was somebody on Instagram, and I was over the moon with it. And I keep it. I want to do some journals and put all my little bits in. Little bits when I start doing swaps and things, because I'd like to do some swaps. Yeah, so getting back to this. That's my front cover. That's the wrong way round. Let's do it the way it's going to be. So I'm going to leave these edges on. That will go on there like that, and that will be my front cover. I'm hoping you can actually see that. If I get out my light, you might be able to see that a little bit better. There. And at the moment it looks quite busy and there's quite a lot going on, but as I say, I will be putting other things on top of this, and this will be covered up. I've got some ideas to go over some of the gesso as well, which I shall share with you when this is dry, because I'm going to have to go with the slow method. I'm just going to go on Amazon and see if I can get myself another heat tool, because I can't manage. I can't manage without that for more than a day, because I'm always doing stuff like this, and then I can't manage without my heat tool. I ought to really learn from this and have a spare, but there we go. We learn as we go along. So that's it for now. I'm going to leave it there, and I shall be back to you shortly. Got some more journals coming up. I'm going to clear all this away and I'll be back to you shortly. Bye. This is I think this is mixed media paper, and I did some of the mixed media on here the other night. I don't think I did these on video. So I've been getting one or two out just to see what I was going to do. I'm going to do these in a minute, but I thought I'll have a look at these first and show you what my intention is. Oh, that's another one that I did quite a while ago with different colours, and I thought I'll have a play with that as well and just show you what I'm going to do, and then do it on the real thing. So what I've got out, I've got these acrylics. Now bearing in mind I haven't used acrylics yet on any of this, but I'm going to use some acrylics, and I'm going to use the gold, and I'm going to use the copper, and I'm just going to rub it on some of these raised areas. Now this one here has got some lovely effects on already, because this has got some embossing on it, and it's got the gold embossing powders on it. So I thought just another try and see what it does. I'll just take my little thingy off there, and what I am going to do, because I'm not sure how it's going to work, I'm going to put a bit on my board, and I'm going to put some of the copper on as well, just on the side of my board. You can see where I've done it. Can you see me there? Yes. Hopefully not too much shadow, because it's been raining here all day today, so it's really miserable. And so what I'm going to do is just tap some of this on, not too much. I mean, it doesn't matter if it goes in the background as well, but I'm aiming at the white bits. So I'm going to try that here on this. Now that's the effect I was looking for. This one has got a bit more dimension to it. I think this has got a bit, it's gone a bit not as flat, so it's picking up. Oh, it's picking up beautiful. Oh, a bit more here, look. Let's have that's got a bit of embossing on, because I think some of my embossing powder blew around, and the gesso was still wet. Oh, that is a beautiful effect. Don't know whether you can you actually see that one there? Oh no, let me, oh, do you know, I can never do me right from my left. Can you see them? Is it picked up on this bit here? It is absolutely beautiful, that. Oh, I do enjoy playing because you find out some things. I'm going to try the gold now, see what the gold looks like. Yeah, this one's got a little bit of a raised area. As I say, if you were using other kind of mediums in the stencil, you'd maybe get a more raised area, but I didn't particularly want it too raised on here. I wanted it, you know, to give a little bit, but not a massive amount. I'm just going to add a bit of gold to this as well and see what I like. Oh yeah, that's got a real shimmer to it. Lovely shimmer. Looks really pretty. Right, let's have a bit more of this gold in here. Oh, that's lovely. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. That is really, really pretty. So that's one. I mean, I could use some of those in the pockets, you know, to cut them up pockets. I'm just going to have a go with this and see. I'm not sure whether the copper will look. This is very flat, this one, so I'm not sure what effect this will give, but I'm going to try it anyway. See, because it is more flat, it doesn't hurt your hands as much when the gesso's not as rough. It just catch my hands a bit when it's rough. That's a bit rougher there. Am I in? Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the screen. It's a big sheet, this, so. Oh yeah, I like the copper one on here. I was just trying it first, really, just to see what it did, and then I'll try it on me. Well, I'm just going to use a little bit more. I don't want to use too much copper because I'm not sure whether I'm putting copper on the other one. There's a bit of wording on here as well, so I'm going to try and pick up a bit of the wording. It has sort of caught the wording, but it's got in the background as well. So what I'm doing is just, I might have to lift that with a bit of gold. It has got the edges of it. It does look quite pretty, but it, you know, you can maybe only see that it looks a bit messy around it. I don't know. Let's have a look and see. Oh, let's have a go with this. I mean, this one I did ages and ages ago. This isn't one I've done for this. I've just found this. That's why it's a different colour. I've just found this out. Now I'm just going to use a bit of this gold and see what the gold does. Because the gold just might lift the colours a bit. Yeah, because the gold doesn't go in the background quite so much. I've got a bit of a wet cloth here. I wonder if I can just... No. I could have done that. I could have used a bit of a, oh, what do you call it, to stop the acrylic drying so fast, because the acrylic does dry really fast. Can't think what you call it. Oh, I'll have to try and think what you call it. I've got some, I'll have to look it out and tell you what I mean. It just slows the drying process down, that's all, and it would give me time to rub a bit off in the background if that's what I decided to do. I actually like it better with the gold in with the copper. It seems to pick up the wording better with the gold. Oh yeah, I like that. I like the fact that the copper's sort of on the paper, but it wasn't picking up the words as easy. Whereas it's lovely with the gold. I mean, these are just to show you, because I haven't got many of the other ones done that are dry, because because I did some, these are the ones that I didn't do on the camera, but I did the gesso in through the stencil on the camera. But the ones that I wet on the camera, they're still a bit damp, and I didn't want to stencil the gesso on those. So that's why I've dug some of these out that I've done previously. And yeah, I do quite like the effect. I mean, I think on this one it's maybe not, you know, because it's not the colouring I want. I'm not sure whether, I'm just going to use a bit more of this up. Just because I don't like the waste. Right, so that's practice over. I don't know how that looks on there, whether it looks a mess or whether it's showing up. Let's move that one out the way. Practice over. Let's have a go with the ones that I want to use for my covers. I'm sorry, I've just rocked the camera. Don't really like the camera on my desk, but it's the best position I've found. So, right, so this one, remember me doing them on the other. So this is what's set up. That's going to go to there like that, and that's going to be down the spine. I'm just going to keep them both together so I can see what the colours are like. I'm going to start with the gold because I don't know whether I'm just going to do gold or whether I am going to pick up a bit of this copper. I'm not quite sure. Right, I don't want too much on my hands because I don't want it to go too much into the... So I'm just going to very lightly try and pick up the raised areas if I can. I'm just dabbing it on and then rubbing it on my glass mat, so I'm just picking up the raised areas, doing it a bit slower just to see what it does. I don't want it too heavy on here. I don't want to completely cover the white up. I just really want a bit of shimmer on it and a bit of gold showing. So that's, oh, that looks lovely. I don't know if you can see how that's shimmering in there, but it does look really lovely. What I don't know, oh, that was going to be a bit heavy-handed, that one. I forgot to dab it off. Let's have a look. It's still a bit heavy-handed, Lena. Do I try a little bit of this? I'm going to try a little bit of this copper and just see what I think to it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try this little bit here, and then we're going to be cutting off. Then if I'm not keen on it, it's going to be right down the spine and I can hide it. So I'm just going to see what it looks like. I think it's just because it's darker. I don't know, let's just tap it off again and see if I can. I just need to check it and see. Do you see it there? That's the bronze one. I'm going to put a bit of gold with it. Don't know, I'm not overly keen on that on its own. I just think it's a little bit too dark for me. I just want a bit more. I'm gently putting the gold on because I don't want to go too heavy with it. It's taking a while to cover up the bronze, but I don't want to go too heavy. So I'm going to leave it like that, but just to balance it out, I am just going to try a little bit here, just a little bit, and try and keep it as light as I can. So it's going to look odd with just one bit. Although it's near the spine, I'm still, you're still going to see little bits of it. Right, so it does pick up the light beautiful and it is absolutely lovely, but I'm just a bit nervous with that one. I prefer the gold, I think. Oh, I will forget to tap it off. I will end up with a mess if I do that, because it'll be too thick. I'm not covering this white completely. I'm just gently putting some of this on just to give a bit of shimmer. And it does shine. It looks lovely. As I say, I do like the copper as well, but it just seems to go a bit too dark for me. I might actually, let me just try this. If I mix the two together, what would that do? Let's try that. A bit of the gold, a bit more of the gold, and just, ooh, that's rather a lot, Lena. Sorry, I talk to myself. I spend most of my day talking to myself when I'm in here. Me or the dog. I should imagine I'm not the only one, I think, when you're in here crafting, unless you listen to the radio or something. So one thing for sure, I don't get in any arguments, chatting away to myself. Do you know what I have noticed? I played back one of my first videos and I noticed how much more confident, not with my craft, how much more confident I've got talking up, because, you know, I'm a talker and I love talking, but I was really nervous. Even though I knew that I didn't have to post the video, I was still ever so nervous. And I was nervous. I didn't want to. The first one, I got my daughter to listen to it. I couldn't even listen to my own voice. I thought, well, how am I going to do YouTube if I can't listen to my own voice? You know, because this isn't about me making it. I mean, it'd be lovely to get loads of subscribers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I wouldn't want that. Of course I would. And I'd love to see people enjoying what I do. But this is more about me having fun and sharing it with people. I mean, I get so excited when I see I've got another subscriber. I'm not going to pretend I don't, because I do. I'm over the moon. I've only got about, I don't know, I think 38 last time I looked. So, you know, I'm not making the big time anytime soon. I'm just, you know, having a play, sharing it with you all. I'm grateful for everybody that follows me. Yeah, so getting back to that, and it would be really good if I could get my camera right, wouldn't it? Yes, I quite like that. Yeah, it is quite subtle. It's not too much in your face. I still wanted the white to show. Now this is the one for the front. Now what I'm wondering is, just going to look. Do I put anything? I think I've got to put a little bit on that, but I do like the white on this one. I do really like to see the white. I'm going to add a little bit of gold. I'm going to add a little bit here, but it won't be as much. Just a little bit there, and I want to add some on that one there. And then leave some whites. Oh, that's not gold. That's the gold. That would have been a shock. I would have had a great big blodge of the copper. I definitely, with these colours, I do like the look of the copper. I'm going to have to do something with that one though, because I think that's still a bit, it's a little bit too coppery. I've got too much on there. I'm just going to put a bit more. I mean, if I find I don't like that, I'll go over it with something else. I'll go over it with a bit more gesso and then put a colour over it. Sometimes it's harder to see when you're, you know, trying to do it as well. It's best when you look back and you can sort of put it against the other colours that you're going to be using. So that's just what I'm doing at the moment, just putting a little bit out there, just to give it a little bit of a shimmer and not going too mad, because I want some of the white to show. But I need it to blend in with the other as well. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. That is really pretty. I mean, some of this is going to be covered up. I mean, it's not just going to be on the cover and just look like this. It's going to have other things on it as well. But I just wanted to try these effects out and see what they looked like. So I think that's all I'm going to do for now. I've got a bit of sewing to do and to get the cover ready, and then decide whether I'm putting this on yet or, you know, a lot later on in the process once I've got my signatures in. So I'll be back to you with a further video and show you some of the papers that I've got. But I will also be back with some more mixed media madness, because I do just like playing, so I'm going to have some more goes with it and try something different. So please tell me what you think. Leave me a message and tell me what you think and how you think it's turned out. And I'd love to think you had a go, that I'd inspired you to have a go. So I'll leave it there for now. Say bye for now. Keep safe, and I'll be back to you soon. Thank you. Bye.